Hey YouTube, recently there's kind of been a resurgence in the popularity of these things, which has made me kind of irrationally happy over it, which is ridiculous given my age, but I really don't care because I seem to be a victim of real life Arrested Development. Forget the show, I think I mentally stalled out at about age 12 and never surpassed it, but anyway, so Tamagotchis are apparently a thing again, and this just like makes me squee with joy. You have no idea even. Basically, if somehow you live under a rock and don't know what a Tamagotchi is, or you never had one, or just need a refresher, they're basically in the mid to late 90s. I want to say 96 or 97, somewhere in there. They were these little digital pets that were like plastic toys on a keychain, essentially, but they were like little digital things. I think Tamagotchis were the original one. I didn't have one of those first, but the very last day of 7th grade for me, some girl in my class had one, and I thought this was the coolest thing I had ever seen in my entire life, and come hell or high water, I had to have one. And anyone who knows me knows I was a spoiled ass little shit kid who, if I wanted something, basically I fucking got it. So, yeah, I came home from school and was whining to Daddy, oh my gosh, there's this thing, I have to have it. Well, what is it? I don't really know. I don't know what it's called, but it's this thing. And I tried to like explain what it was. He had no idea what the hell I was talking about. So it was one of those things that because I didn't know the name of it, it fell to the wayside for a little while, till like maybe, I want to say like a month into summer vacation that year. I was talking to my cousin on my phone, and well, this used to be a thing because growing up I really didn't have friends aside from like my cousins. So anyway, so I'm talking to her, and I hear this like beeping in the background, and I'm like, what's that? And she's like, oh, it's my Gigapet kitty. And I'm like, wait, what? And she's like, oh, it's this thing, it's on a keychain, and basically her description of it, I was like, it's the thing, it's the thing, it's the thing! And so I got the name of it, and I wrote it down, and I called my dad at work. I was like, oh my god, Dad, remember that thing from like a month ago? I totally know what it's called now! It's a Gigapet kitty! I have to have one! Can we go to the toy store, like, after work today? Basically, I whined and whined and whined and whined and whined and whined for a week straight until he finally caved and was like, oh, fuck it, fine. Just, if he'll shut you up, fine. So, he brings me to, I want to say, Toys R Us or KB Toys or one of those old toy stores or something. And we go in, nothing. They don't have them, they don't have Tamagotchis, they don't have any of them. They've been sold out for months on end and have a waiting list. So, okay, we pack up shop, we go to the next store. Same thing. We went through about 4 or 5 different stores that night, and we were about to cave, and I was ready to just go, fuck it, I just want to go home. And my dad was like, let's go to the mall. I know one more toy store to try. They probably won't have it, but at least we can say we tried, right? Right, okay. And so that one, I believe, was KB Toy Stores. And we went in there, and I asked them if they had the Gigapet kitty, and they were like, no, we're all out of those. But what we do have, and I was like, and they were like, we have the Nano Puppy. And I was like, oh. Because, I mean, at that point, I'd never had a dog yet, so I thought I hated dogs, which I've since seen the light, and I love dogs now. But, I was like, oh, that's not really it. Are you gonna get any of the Gigapet kitties or the Tamagotchis or whatever? And they're like, oh, I don't know when we're gonna get those, but we have this right now if you want it. And I was like near tears at this point, and my sister was with me, and she was all on board for one. And she was like, hell yeah, I'll take I mean, not in those words. She was a little kid. She was 4 years younger than me, so whatever she actually said was said there. So she's looking at it, And I'm pitching a spoiled brat fit while sort of side-eyeing, looking at the thing, kind of looking at the packaging, and the more I think about it, well, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. I guess it's better than going home empty-handed. Alright, give me one. So I got first pick of the color. They had green, orange, and clear, and I picked green, and my sister picked orange because it was closest to red. I picked green because it was closest to blue, and those were our respective favorite colors. And so in the car ride, I think we got candy somewhere on the way home, so we're all hopped up on sugar, and we got our toys. We're in a good old mood, and all is wonderful in the world because life was simpler in the 90s as a kid. So there's that. So we get home, and we're eating dinner, and we're trying to get him out of the packaging, that awful plastic clamshell packaging that practically takes a steak knife to get into. You may as well have a chainsaw to cut through that shit. We eventually get into him, and I'm sitting there poring over the entire instructions, reading every last word of that literature. My sister's over here, she's like, instructions, I don't need instructions. She's booting hers up, she has her puppy on there, and she's playing with it. I'm still reading the instructions, learning every last in and out of the damn thing, and yeah, hers was an hour or two old by the time I even started thinking about starting mine up, and yeah, that, this can be said for many things in life with me and her, but, she just jumps right in, whereas I'm like, rules, 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 I have to know all the rules, I need to know how everything works, I need to know every in and out of everything to have anything to do with anything, and yeah, so, there's that. So, I started up, and basically, it was love at first sight. I actually still have this thing. I don't have it right here on hand to show you on camera. It's in my room somewhere. I actually just ran across it last week. I mean, I don't have batteries in it right now, so it's not like I could show you gameplay on it at the moment. But yeah, I still have the very first one I ever owned, so to me that's kind of big because that was the one that I always, even after all the ones I ended up owning, was still my favorite. Even after being that hesitant to get that one in the first place, I ended up loving that one the most. So, anyway. So I'm playing it and feeding it and cleaning its poops and giving it baths and all this stuff. It's basically a virtual pet simulator. It's exactly what it sounds like if you've never played one. It's just little black and white pixely things on a screen, but it didn't matter, it was freaking awesome. So I'm sitting there, and God only knows why I remember this much detail about it, but I'm playing with my nano puppy, my sister's playing with her nano puppy, my brother's only a few years old, he's watching that old Japanese anime show, Bumpity Boo? It was like a talking car or something. I don't know why I remember this. He's watching that and JJ the Jet Plane, and yeah, and we stayed up until halfway through the night, or what we thought was halfway through the night, playing with these things and watching the cartoons, and yeah. So, the next day, we hadn't even had these things 24 hours yet. We wanted to show them off to everybody we knew, so my mom gave us these lanyard clip necklace keychainy things to stick them on, and we went over to the neighbor's house who had a pool, or not a real pool, but a kiddie pool, but it didn't matter, it was middle of summer, so heck yeah, and we're over there, and we're showing off our new toys, which were practically foreign creatures to their kids, because they weren't even allowed to watch TV, much less play with an electronic toy. Oh my god. But, yeah, so I'm sitting there playing with my sister goes in the pool, with hers still on, and leans over. That was the end of her nano puppy. I don't know if I should say that it drowned or it electrocuted, but it got wet, and that was that, because we all know what happens with electronics and water. And I'm sitting there, ha 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 ha, yours is dead, mine's not, na 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 na, because I was a horrible little bitch cunt from hell, child. I'm not the first. I mean, I am the first one to admit it. I was an awful little kid. I'd like to think that I've grown past that, because she and I are besties now. So, yeah, we've moved past this petty shit, so thank God for that. But, Yeah, so I was being all mean because mine still works and yours is broken. I have when you because this is like the fucked up shit that I did to her all the damn time. Thought this was epically funny. Karma's a bitch. The next day, I went to lunch with my aunt and my cousin at Carl's Jr. I don't know why I remember that detail, but I do. And I got a big fucking Pepsi. And we went over a bump in the car, and it spilled all over my nano puppy. Unlike my sister's, though, mine didn't die. But it did get under the screen, and it stained it irreparably to where I always, like, referred to it as its Pepsi tattoo, because there was no getting it out of there. It's amazing that thing still worked, honestly, because practically the whole thing dumped on it. I don't know how it lived, but I'm glad that it did, because that would have really sucked if both of ours had been fried in, like, 24 hours of each other, because I don't think my dad would have got us more. I think he did end up replacing hers, but if mine had gone too, I can tell you right now that for what a shit I was being about it, mine would not have gotten replaced, so I'm glad that it didn't die, so. Anyway, so I was so addicted to that thing the whole damn summer. And the school year started. And pretty much by this point, everybody had these things. And we were all trying to smuggle them into school and, like, turn the sound off, keep them in our pencil boxes and play with them, thinking that the teacher doesn't know what we're doing, even though it's really freaking obvious that nobody's paying attention to the lesson. Everybody's playing with the things in their desk, and it always seems like whenever other people get away with breaking the rules at school, I'm always the one that would get cracked down on for this stuff. I don't know why it always be, but without fail, every time. Always me. So I think it was like the second day into the school year, they enacted this rule, and on the third day I got mine confiscated. And I cried like a little bitch to the point where I had Dad go down there and get it back for me. But they said that if they caught me with it again, they would not be giving it back and be going straight into the trash. Needless to say, I didn't bring it to school again. I employed my mom to take care of it for me while I was at school, which worked great for about a month, and then she was like, fuck this. But, she did a much better job with that thing than I ever did. I think I only got it to adulthood, like, twice ever, whereas she, every damn time, seemed to get that thing to a full-grown dog, whereas what I thought was the full-grown dog was apparently its childhood. Yeah, I apparently wasn't as good at this as I thought I was at the time, but anyway, so needless to say, trends ebb and flow and wane and something else takes over, but this one had a foothold for a while, and seemingly every company on the planet wanted to jump on this bandwagon, and every kid had to have as many of them as possible. I know my second one was like digital fish, which is exactly as not exciting as it sounds like, but my cousin had it, and like within maybe 2 weeks, she was like, I hate this thing, I'm gonna get rid of it. I was like, don't get rid of it, you should give it to me. So now I had a puppy and a digital fish. Sounds legit. So I'm playing with this thing, and this one, I mean, at least with the puppy, it didn't ever, like, die. If you neglected it, it would just, like, run away, and it would have, like, a curtain come down. So it wasn't, like, that dramatic. It was sad, but it wasn't, like, the end of the world. Whereas the fish, if you neglected it, yeah, now there's fish bones on the screen. You killed your fish. Good job. I was like, it sucks. I want the kitty. So I basically whined and whined until my dad eventually did track down that freaking Gigapet kitty that I would not shut up about for half a year until he tracked it down. I'm not even joking. You think I'm joking. I'm not joking. One problem. It was the Gigapet kitty, alright. But now they'd had a contract deal with Barbie, so while it was technically the Gigapet kitty, it was the Barbie Gigapet kitty. which for all intents and purposes mostly worked exactly the same way as the normal one, but it had the Barbie logo on it. Which meant I could not bring this thing out in public with a straight face, because, I mean, at 12 years old, I'm too old for Barbies. Yeah, I got over that in like 2 years and started collecting them all over again. But, at that point I was like, Dad, you've made me wait this long for one. You got me a Barbie one. Yeah, I think I eventually ended up taking a Sharpie to the Barbie part and was like, okay, now I can get on with my life and bring it out in public. Anyway, I started getting every different offshoot brand that I could get my hands on. I had the Gigapet puppy, and the baby, and the kitty. I had the Gigapet kitty, the monkey, the frog, the mermaid, the mosquito fly, whatever the fuck it was. There was... What else was there? There was, like, this dinosaur digital pet watch thing from Avon. I had one of those. I had about half a dozen dinky dinos. I had the Bobo Panda Bite, I think it was called. That was the only one I ever actually legit got rid of because it scared me so bad when it died, because it wouldn't just die. It would fall down and you would watch it rot while it played scary music. I'm not a fan of that one. It still freaks me out. So I'm glad I got rid of it, except for finding out that it was like probably the only digital pet that I had that could have been worth money now on eBay. But, oh well. But I had those. I had Tamagotchi. I had Tamagotchi Angel. I had Nano Puppy Family, which was an offshoot of the Nano Puppy. It was a more modern one. I have half the set. They came in sets of 2, and you would link them together, and as they grew up, they would hit puberty, and then they would have puppies, and oh, now you have a whole family of dogs, and you can try and get as many generations going as you can, and blah blah blah. I suppose there was probably, like, different breeds or something if you connect them with other people's, but I didn't know anybody else who had one, so I just bred these 2 with each other over and over and over again till I got bored, and that was that. I had the Star Wars Gigapets. I had the Disney ones, which seemingly every different Disney character you can think of had one of these. At least one of these. Little Mermaid had at least 3 that I know of. The best one, unfortunately, probably got recalled. I know we had to throw ours out because there was like an electrical problem with it and it kept shocking us. Like we would pick it up and be playing with it all of a sudden, ow! It was like, yeah, that's not even safe. I'm sure there was probably a recall, but it just figures that like the best one is the one that had the problem. But I had those. I had, what else did I have? I had the Toy Story ones. I had, gosh, there were so many. Well, bottom line is, I had so many of these damn things that at one point, I kid you not, this is not an exaggeration, I had over 70 of them. All with good batteries, and all running, and all being played with at the same time. I had them on a purse that was like an over-the-chest purse thing, and I had them clipped all the way up the strap, all the way back down the other side. I had them clipped to every zipper. I had them to my belt loops on my pants. I had them clipped to basically any surface I could clip them to. I had them on. Because basically I had all the ones I'd collected, and then all the ones that my siblings had that they got sick of, they would pawn off on me, and then my cousins started following suit, and they'd get tired of theirs, and pawn them off on me, who was still so addicted to these things. I was like, hell yeah, look at me, I'm a pimp, look at me with all my packs, woo! And thought I was hot shit, but I had no life. I still don't, but, this was its own special level of having no life. Yeah, then I found the internet, and, well, actually, no, that's not even an accurate statement. I was already on the internet, but whatever. Yeah, but biggest count that I know of for fact, I know of at least 73 at one time. I know I collected other ones after that, but that was the biggest number at one time that were all up and running at the same time, that I was actively playing all of them and keeping them all alive at the same time. Which I feel like I deserve a gold star for that or something, from being able to do that. But again, I had no life, like no friends, so what else was I gonna do with my time, I guess? But so these were basically the digital equivalent of imaginary friends. No wonder I was so addicted to them. But anyway, yeah, and then I found The Sims, and I found Creatures, and I found all the computerized versions, and I still play those, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, and then there was certain ones like the 8-in-1 pet, but this is actually about the size of the original Nano and the same, like, shape and everything. So this is about what they look like. 3 buttons, a screen, it's on a keychain. I mean, that's what the gist of them look like. Some were more ovally this way, some were square, some were shaped like the actual characters themselves, but most of them were just like little oval egg was the gist of it. And then it kind of petered out for a while, and there'd been a couple of more modern updated versions of Tamagotchi, which I never got Tamagotchi Connection. I kind of regret that. I never got the color ones that are in Japan only, mostly because I don't have that much money to blow on them, and I don't speak Japanese, so I wouldn't know what I'm doing. But I did get Tamagotchi Music Star a couple years ago. It doesn't have batteries in it right now because they went dead and I haven't replaced them yet. But yeah, it's this little guy. They're a little bigger than they used to be, I think, but it still fits in the palm of your hand. But I thought it was kind of cool because now you like raise them to be musicians and to like have bands and things. I was like, okay, so now there's like a plot. That's kind of cool. So I can get behind that. I meant to get a few of them so I could take advantage of the little infrared blink thing, but I only ended up getting one, so oh well. So there's that. But they totally still make them, and they're coming out with like a newer version of them, I think in fall this year, and knowing me, I'll probably end up buying one because I'm a loser with no life, so yeah, there's that. But there was like a zillion different spin-offs of these, not only with like the little keychain things, but I mean, there's so many I couldn't show you all of them on camera. That's why I'm not even trying to right now. That, and I don't know where all of them are. But yeah, between the two, but God, I have a lot. If I ever felt the need to sell them, I'd probably have a small cash cow right there. But there were so many like different spin-off products. Like there was a board game that I remember you used the actual Tamagotchi itself as like yours, like this right here, like not even a game piece, your actual Tamagotchi. You would use it as your game piece on the board, which just kind of made me feel like this is a marketing ploy to get you to buy more of those things so more people can play the game at once. But it wasn't even a very good game. There was that, which I had. There was the Game Boy game, which my cousin had, and I kind of stole from him and never gave back, so he bought another one, and I guess we were cool because he had another one. Yeah. There was that. There was the computer game, which actually was really cool, and I would totally still play if I was able to make it run on a modern machine. It was for like Windows 95, so I don't think I could get it to run on a modern machine. But that one was really good. I was impressed with that one. It reminded me a lot of Cats with a Z. Not the modern one that most of you are probably thinking of if you're familiar with the current series. This was one from the early 90s that it was by PF Magic. So, unless we're talking about one from PF Magic, it is not the same thing. Because I know there's a current series of Cats games, but that's not it. It just uses the same title and the same idea, but it's not the same thing. But, anyway. So there was the computer version, and it met its untimely demise when my sister kind of stepped on the CD-ROM. That sucked. But it caused so much contention anyway, because it was one of those games where you had to have the disc in the computer to play it. And technically it was hers, and I kind of took over it. And then there was the big battle of, well, I want to play it right now. Well, I want to play with mine too. yeah, so we'd be constantly in this battle between who gets to play with it. As if I didn't have enough of the real thing to play with at any given time, right? But this is on the computer, it's totally better! Yeah, I know. Don't judge me, I was 12. So, yeah, and I guess maybe it was a blessing in disguise that she accidentally stepped on it one day and ended that, but yeah. So there was that. There was also, a series of Nintendo DS games that were like, I want to say they were called Tamagotchi Corner Shop? If it wasn't Corner Shop, it was something really, really close to it, but basically the gist was it had the Tamagotchi characters, but they all ran different types of shops, and there was mini games for the different shops, and it wasn't really the same gameplay style as the old school Tamagotchi, but it was still fun, and I actually still have those and occasionally still play them just for shits and giggles, but yeah. But now the main one that I think most people currently play, well, there's two actually, but they're in app form for Android and for iOS. I've got an iPod, so I play mine on here. I will show you what it works like, because I can, basically. Let me bring it up. So, this is what the main screen looks like, if I can get it. Okay, if I tilt it a little like this, how about if I tilt it the other way? Okay. It says Tamagotchi Life, which is like an acronym for Love is Fun Everywhere. Okay. So touch to start, blah blah blah. This is what it looks like when one dies. It turns into like a little angel dude. So then you have to reset it. Yes, reset. Generation 1 or Generation 2. I've actually mostly only done Generation 1. Let me turn on the light in here, it's kind of dark. But yeah, I'll do Generation 1. Yes, you selected Generation 1. And it has like a little egg on the screen. It's got a hatch, so it'll do its thing. Blah, blah, blah. Hold it so you can watch it hatch. Oh, and then there's the little baby. And it's going to be a whiny, needy little thing that is going to need you to feed it. So, if I can get it to show. Feed it some meals. There's some bread that it's going to eat. Yeah, so do that like a few times. I'll show you snack after I give it 4 meals, so, because then it'll be full. So give me a sec. Okay. Now for snack, it'll give it a little piece of candy, but you don't want to go overboard with candy because you can and will make them sick if you give it too much. So I'm just going to give it the one for the sake of showing you how it works. But basically, the whole idea is to make it look like the old school experience with Tamagotchi. Like it has the keychain thing and the buttons and everything. And it's got the little icons. So this game, basically you have to guess if he's going to go or turn left or right. And if you're right, then he's happy, and if you're wrong, then he's sad. So the idea is to guess correctly at least 3 out of 5 times. I can't really see what I'm doing. Hopefully you guys can. See? 3 to 2, so yay, he's happy. Now see, if that had gone the other way around, he'd still be sad and you have to do it all over again, and yeah, I'll just race through this a couple more times. Okay. Now, alternately, or wait, actually, there's more to show you. Now, you can also give it a bath, or if he poops, you just go like that, and it'll go whoosh, and it'll clean everything off the screen, everything off of him. Then, there's your stats. He is 0 years old and 5 ounces. No discipline. His hunger bar is filled. The happy meter is almost filled, so we'll fix that. Let's see. in addition to the old school keychain mode, you can also play in... Wait. Okay. Where it's like full screen and it just looks like your little dude and you can actually touch it and tickle him, make him laugh, if you can see that. He jumps. But in here, when you play with him, it's a totally different game. It's like rock, paper, scissors. I so cannot see what I'm doing. 4-1, yay! So, yeah, there's that. The only difference with meal and snack is it's now in color, but since he's full, he's not going to eat it. So, that's about the only difference there. But, basically, that's not all there really is to show you on that app. But, depending on the way that you raise it, it'll grow up into different sorts of things. Oh, that's something else I can show you on it. Let me bring it back up. Go to my gallery. And this is one thing that you couldn't do on the original like keychain version of this. It gives you a gallery of all of the little Tamagotchis you've raised in the past. Like this one, and it's got their names and things. Like the question marks are ones that I haven't unlocked yet, but yeah, that's for Generation 1. But anyway, so depending how you raise it, if you treat it really well, it'll turn into a good thing. If you treat it crappy, then it's not gonna turn into such a great thing. It'll be like a snake or something. But you can also, depending on how many Tamagotchis you raise and stars you collect by taking care of them through different life phases, you can unlock different shells, which are, what did I do? I clicked on something I shouldn't have. But anyway, the shells are, basically like the casing, like, this would be the shell, the little blue thing here. So that, since one of the main appeals with the real-life version was to collect all the different ones, this is a way to virtually do that, is by unlocking them. So, and then, once you unlock them, you can choose that as, like, the one you want to play with as, like, your default on-screen one. And you can change it, like, however you want. And you can unlock wallpapers for behind it, too, so, okay. That's as much as there is to show you on that one. Now, they more recently made an offshoot of this game, and Tamagotchi Angel, which, okay. This one I've had running since earlier today, so it's past the infancy phase. It's still a baby, but it's a cute little angel. It's a little bit different. I've got other app things popping up from different apps, but okay. So it's the same sort of idea. You can play in the shell mode or in the other one. I kind of like this one just because it looks cool and I like the different shells, but we'll go back to the other mode. So this one, it's a little different. Like, for the stats, you have the number of years and angel points. Angel points, I haven't quite figured out how to bring them up once they drop. I'm sure there's a way to do it. I just really don't know what the hell I'm doing. So, there's that. Deeds, I really don't know what the hell I'm doing there either. Hunger meter. The effort is the happiness meter, basically. So, okay. Now, see, because it's little angel, and it's already dead, essentially, you have the choice between its meals being pie, or you can give it candy, which is the same as giving it a snack on the other one. So, we'll feed it. No, it's full, I guess. So, I'll give it a little piece of candy. It's got a little chocolate heart. Isn't that cute? But this is a new thing. There's bats! There's bats! You have to tap the screen to scare it away. And I just scared it away. But, I'm not sure why there's bats, but there's bats. Maybe they want some Ozzy Osbourne action go all up in here, I don't know. But, there's a couple different games, again. They're different from the other Tamagotchi app. Like, in shell mode, you have a little star game where you have to jump over a shooting star. Ah, shoot, I screwed up. Like, before it gets to you, you have to do it. Shoot! Hold on. how do I do this? I usually don't play this game, so I'm trying to... I usually play the other one. Give me a second. Well, I lost. Let me remind myself how you even do it. Because I remember the gist of how it works. I only did it like once. Okay. So, jump. Oh, I'm not even on screen. Okay. Jump. Can you see that? Jump. And jump. You have to do it 5 times. And now it has a happy. And yeah, that's that. It's not very exciting. I like the other game more in the other mode, but there's a caveat with this. The music that it plays in the background is by Joan Jett. I didn't get to pick it. It was with the app because they have a deal with her. And I'm like, of all the people you could have picked, you pick like my least favorite person on the planet? Really? Really? But at this point I've kind of steeled myself against it. So basically it's like a counting game where you have to do it as fast as possible. Let's see if I can do it on screen. Like in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ah, shit. 12 is somewhere. I don't see the 12, did I? Oh, wait. See, this is harder trying to do this on camera where you guys can see it. But yeah, that's the gist of that one. Now see, if I just have it in front of me and I'm looking directly at it, I'm actually really good at that one. But, that's about all there is to... Oh, wait, actually, hey, I have 2 angel points. Did I have 2 angel points before, or was it 0? I feel like it was 0. So, I think I just made them go up. Did I? I don't know. That's what I get for not paying attention, but, yeah, this one also has a gallery, of your different little Tamagotchi angels. It's got, the different breeds in there. I'm trying to hold it where you can see it, but it's hard. There's different breeds and different colors to unlock. But see, if you don't take care of it and it gets sick, I think 3 times, it turns into a devil and then you have to start over. So don't let it turn into a devil, because you can't play it as a devil. Once it turns into a devil, it poops and then you have to reset. Which I'm not sure what that's about. I'm also not sure why there's the toilet icon on this one, given that the Tamagotchi angel never poops. Or if it does, I have never once seen it happen yet, other than the little devil guy. But anyway, that's pretty much it with the apps. But yeah, that's apparently the most common modern version of it. So it's kind of interesting that I still have a place in my heart for the little handheld ones that I can actually have in my hand. But the downside is that they take watch batteries, and watch batteries don't last forever. I mean, I guess the same could be said that, well, an iPod battery doesn't live forever. Yeah, but you can recharge that and you won't lose your Tamagotchi in the meantime. Whereas if your battery goes out on one of these, you have to start all over. It doesn't have like an internal memory system to keep it going if the battery goes out. So that part kind of sucks. But other than that, I still really like these things, so not gonna lie, I still collect and still play with them. Not as obsessively as I once did. I mean, I don't have the 70 of them running anymore. I mean, as you can see, I have none of them running right now. All I've got is the apps going at the moment, which I feel like they made the apps harder than the actual Tamagotchis were, because I feel like I was a lot better at the original keychain Tamagotchis than I am at those apps, but I guess they had to do something to make it harder to keep people playing. But yeah, there's that. But anyway, I'm excited to see what the new one in fall is gonna be like, if it's worth the money or not. I mean, we all know I'm gonna get one anyway, but yeah. So if you guys had any of them, which ones did you have, and what color were they, and what was the longest amount of time you were ever able to keep one alive for, and which one was it on? Just out of curiosity, just so we can get some conversation going in here. Okay,